I'm Paige, a 30-year-old housewife. I live with my husband Ryan, who works at a well-known corporation. Ryan is so kind. For example, in the morning the other day, I had trouble going to sleep yesterday, so I'm still sleepy. Oh, Ryan, you're awake already? You're up early.
Morning! Breakfast is ready.
Huh? You prepared breakfast for me?
Yeah, I wasn't feeling sleepy this morning. The laundry's also in the dryer right now.
Wow, thanks!
No, I have you to thank for doing housework every day. But if you're still feeling sleepy, you can go back to sleep.
And when there's a bug inside our house, Ryan would gently capture it in a bag and free it outside. If a bicycle has fallen down onto the floor, he volunteers to fix it upright. When he sees an old person having trouble to put their bags on the shelves, he is so kind that he would rush to help them out. I'm so happy that I got to marry Ryan. But with my parents-in-law, Noah and Isabel, I haven't been able to maintain a good relationship with them. Ryan was from a typical competitive household, so everyone in their family had graduated from prestigious universities. In contrast, I got a job after I graduated high school. It seemed like Noah and Isabel disliked the fact that his son married a high school graduate. In addition, Ryan already had a fiancée who his parents arranged for him to marry. She was from an affluent family, but he refused, saying that he wanted to marry me instead. His fiancée gladly accepted his apology, saying that she also wanted to choose her own husband and not to worry about her. But when I visited his parents to inform them about our marriage, they said something like this. Huh? You're marrying a high school graduate? Of course not!
Besides, you have a fiancé. But the fact that she's a high school graduate doesn't matter. I want to marry Paige. And about my fiancé, she said she was having doubts about having an arranged marriage.
I don't care about how you both feel about the marriage. Listen, if you get married to her, we'll get connections with a wealthy family. You managed to get a job at a well-known corporation, but we never know what would happen in the future. If you get married to a woman with an affluent background, you'll be able to maintain your status forever. Marrying a girl from a questionable background? Life is more difficult than you think. Questionable background?
Hey, Mom! You're being too mean. The reason why you were able to go to private school since you were little is because you had us as your parents. You also got a job at a nice company. It's your duty to listen to us in terms of your marriage as well. Have you forgotten about all the things we've done for you?
They were like this. The conversation wasn't taking us anywhere, so he finally reached out to grandfather for help. And his grandfather persuaded Noah and Isabel, and we were able to get married. For Noah and Isabel, Ryan was their only son, who they finally got pregnant with at a relatively old age. Noah had already retired from his job, and because his father helps him pay back his debts and partially pay for their living expenses, they never dared to go against him. But he passed away as his disease got worse. Until then, Ryan's grandfather told Noah and Isabel that he would never forgive them if they dared to do something to me or Ryan, but after he passed away, they've been telling us to get a divorce. And would even barge into our house saying that having a daughter-in-law who was a high school graduate was an embarrassment to their family. Whenever that happens, Ryan would apologize to me, saying that I had to feel hurt because of him. But I think it's not Ryan's fault at all. Considering how kind he is and how he tends to hold everything in, I bet he thinks it's all his fault. In order to return the favor for looking after him all these years, he even sends them money after his grandfather passed away. I thought it was natural for him to think that way, and because they approved our marriage at the end, I wouldn't force him to stop sending them money. But a year after I got married with Ryan, something unforgivable happened. The doctor found a tumor in my mom, Penny's brain, and she had to be hospitalized. Because it was still in an early stage, it wasn't much of a big deal, but I was so worried about her. For a while, I kept on going back and forth from my house to the hospital where she was staying at. But one afternoon, after I came home from the hospital, Isabel gave me a call. Yes? Hello? Paige, where were you this noon? Huh? Oh, I guess you visited us again today. I bet she stopped by just to tell me to get a divorce with him again. My husband and I waited for 2 hours in front of your house. I know you're cheating on my son. Huh? Why do you think that? I'm not cheating on him. Then where were you? There's a tumor in my mother's brain, so she's being hospitalized right now. Huh? A tumor? Yes, I think I'll be out often to visit my mother, so I wouldn't be at home during the day, even if you come over. A tumor in her brain? Considering how stupid you are, your parents must also have a bad brain. Huh? You get a tumor in your brain because you have a weak brain. Stupid people contribute nothing to society, so they should just end their lives quickly. I've been holding in my frustration no matter what they told me. We got married against their will, and I did feel apologetic about it. But I can endure it if she insults me only. But I can't forgive her for saying something so rude to my precious mother. She definitely lacks common sense. Can you please take that back? Huh? How would you feel if you were the one who got a tumor in your brain, and my mother said that she hopes your life to end quickly? Think about it. I graduated from a prestigious private university, so your mother would never dare to say something like that to me. Huh? What is that logic? It's not making any sense. Hurry up and just get a divorce with my son quickly. He's always been kind and mentally weak, so he's just giving in to you and your strong opinions about maintaining the marriage. As his parents, we have to lead him to a happy future. Like that, she just hung up. But 2 days later, Ryan had a day off from work, so when we visited my mother at the hospital together.
How are you feeling, Mommy Penny?
Ryan, thanks for coming. Oh, it's nothing. The doctor also said I'd be able to go home soon, so there's nothing to be worried about.
Phew, that's a relief. But don't push yourself. Let's cook together again with the three of us. Remember? You still haven't kept the promise to teach me the delicious recipe for the meat and potato stew.
It was at that moment.
Darling, it's in this room.
Oh, you're right. Ryan, you're also here. Hello there, Mommy Penny. Stupidly, Noah and Isabel came in. Huh? Why are you two here? I never told you which hospital.
We visited your house, but you weren't there. So we assumed you were visiting Mommy Penny at the hospital.
We decided to visit all the hospitals near Mommy Penny's house, but this was the only large hospital, so it didn't take us much time to locate her. As she said so, she took out the divorce papers from her bag. What is this? Paige doesn't agree to get a divorce with Ryan at all. Can you persuade your daughter to get a divorce quickly?
Hey, Mom!
Then my mother stopped Ryan with her hand. I bet she was trying to tell him to leave it to her. When Paige and Ryan were having their wedding ceremony, I remember you two looking grumpy. His grandfather was also seated at the same table, so you had to stay silent. That was how it looked from my perspective. Why do they have to get a divorce exactly? Hearing her question, Noah and Isabel seemed confused for a second, but then they suddenly started laughing. You're asking why? Of course it's because a high school graduate like Paige is not fit for Ryan. You can't even understand such a simple thing. You must be really stupid. I heard you're being hospitalized because there's something wrong with your brain. A tumor must have formed because you have a stupid brain.
Are you sure your brain is functioning properly?
Gosh, they said it to her directly. There's no way I can forgive them for it. Who would have imagined Noah and Isabel to end up with that terrible fate? Well, they definitely didn't see that coming. So, Noah and Isabel continued to insult my mother as usual, like the rude people that they are.
The daughter must also be stupid because there's something wrong with the mother's brain. It would be so much trouble if your stupid disease comes into our family. We have to cut relations as soon as possible. Come on, quickly, tell your daughter to sign the divorce papers.
Unlike the people with poor educational backgrounds like you, our kind is necessary for society. If you contaminate us with that stupid disease, you're gonna cause the whole society some trouble, so can you get out of our life?
You both! I had enough!
Huh? Ryan, who was always calm and kind, had finally lost his temper. He stood up from his chair and was glaring at Noah and Isabel with an expression I've never seen him make. Ryan, I couldn't help but open my eyes wide in surprise because he has a whole different person, with a dark aura surrounding him.
You both better apologize to Mommy Penny right now! Mommy Penny is my precious mother-in-law!
How dare you! We've looked after you all these years, but look at how you're treating us! How rude of you!
She's right. Are you returning evil for good? Your mother and I have no reason to apologize to them. Shut up! You're asking if her brain's functioning properly? That's exactly what I want to ask you! And you always say like it's all thanks to you that I got to a private school, but it was actually Grandpa who paid for everything. I know it! When I went to tell Grandpa that you opposed to our marriage, he told me everything. He even apologized to me so many times about how I ended up with parents like you who lack common sense. Although it's none of his fault. Well, I'm thankful that you gave birth to me, so I've been sending you money to at least return some of the favor, but I don't care anymore. I'll no longer be sending you money.
Wait a minute. You'll stop sending us money?
That's too much. We're still in debt.
I've been trying to stay silent, but referring to your duty as parents as a favor, usually parents wouldn't take advantage of that and force their kids to listen to what they say, nor make their kids support you financially. Plus, you're making your child pay back your debts instead as if that's natural. How embarrassing. You said that your kind was necessary. Why would society want people like you? We don't need your kind.
How dare you!
An outsider like you should shut up. This is a problem between us and Ryan. It's you who targeted me and attacked first. If you don't want me to tell you these things, you shouldn't have looked down on me in the first place. Paige, Ryan, you both should break relations with these kinds of people. You don't want to live your life having them as a burden. You're a family of poor educational backgrounds. I don't know if you have a high educational background, but you can't even support yourselves. How come you can be so confident? Such an embarrassment. Shut up! Let's leave, darling. Ryan, do whatever you want. We'll manage even without your help.
Right! You better not look down on us!
Like that, Noah and Isabel got furious and left. But a few weeks later... Ryan, send us some money again, please!
We're your parents! Open the door for us! Let's talk this out!
Because Ryan and I both blocked their contacts, Noah and Isabel directly came to visit us and begged. Through the intercom, we can see them begging on their knees. We never thought our house was under your name.
We wanted to pay back our debts by selling the house and land, but that old man, he's still getting revenge on us even after his death!
Yes, the house they live in used to be under Ryan's grandfather's name. As for the ultimatum for when they caused any more problems to Ryan after his death, he had changed the owner's name to Ryan's name. The two of them were crying and yelling, so we thought it would trouble our neighbors and called the police on them. Shortly after that, the police officers took them somewhere, but when they were being arrested...
Please forgive us! Both of our pensions aren't enough to pay back our debts in time!
Please, we'll apologize to Paige as well. They were crying uncontrollably. After that, Ryan sold the house and the end. Noah and Isabel had to live on the streets. At first, they seemed to be staying at a cheap guest house, but soon their money ran out, and they had to start living by the river, getting shelter from cardboard boxes. At some point, they couldn't bear it any longer, and they also had to pay back their debts. So they started working part-time, but because of their old age, they didn't have enough energy. So they both ended up quitting their jobs and deciding to borrow money from the underground lenders. Now they work abroad, risking their lives after underground lenders introduced them to a job that old people can also manage. After the incident, Ryan and I moved somewhere else, so they would send letters to my parents' house saying, "Dear Paige and Ryan, help us! Please help us so that we can go back to Japan." They told us everything that happened in that letter. Well, we ripped the letter and threw it away, though. By the way, Ryan and I are living a peaceful life in a mansion near my parents' house. My mother was able to leave the hospital the other day, so the three of us were cooking in the kitchen at my parents' house. Okay then, let me teach you my original recipe to cook meat and potato stew as I promised. Ryan, can you peel the vegetables? Paige, can you cut them after that's done?
Okay.
Mom, what else should I make? Tell me whatever you want to eat. Ryan and I will cook it for you.
Yes, you just got out of the hospital, so please, get some rest.
Really? Then I'll gladly accept your offer. I really miss your miso soup, Paige. Okay, leave it to me. I'll cook some delicious soup for you. Thank you for watching. What kind of crazy people will we get to see